Well, the federal government announced millions in new funding today to help tackle escalating auto thefts in Ontario. The feds say the number of stolen cars has spiked significantly in recent years, and many of the vehicles are ending up overseas. Matt Ingram is following this story and joins us live with the details. Good evening, Matt.
Good evening, Taz. Officials say the problem has been on the rise since the pandemic, with vehicles being taken from homes right across the country, but especially in the Greater Toronto area and right here in the Golden Horseshoe. With auto theft on the rise in Ontario, the federal government is investing $121 million in a program to prevent gun and gang crime, including stealing cars.
To deal with the criminal linkages, the organized crime linkages, to an increasingly violent and alarming circumstance around auto theft.
The money will be available to all police services across Ontario,
providing tools and resources to deploy our frontline officers where and when they are needed most.
The feds say vehicle theft in Ontario was up 48.3% in 2022 compared to 2021. In the Toronto area, the Canadian Finance and Leasing Associations say car theft has increased by 300% between 2015 and 2022.
Interpol recently named Canada a new hotspot on the global wave of auto theft.
In Hamilton, car thefts decreased going into the pandemic, but started increasing again in 2021, following the trend seen across the province. Ward 15 Hamilton Councillor Ted McMeekin welcomed the new funding.
This is good news, I think, for the people in my ward and throughout this area.
He says thieves are targeting pickup trucks in Ward 15 and Waterdown, with the number of thefts in the ward increasing from 28 in 2021 to 42 in 2022 and 72 in 2023.
That's a 68% increase.
He says he's hearing about a stolen truck from his constituents around once every week, explaining that pickups are being targeted because they're expensive.
And you could resell them real quick, and if you can't resell them, you can strip them for parts. It's a calamity that is unfolding, and one that is very lucrative for the organized crime gangs.
In nearby Halton, police are dealing with a massive spike in car thefts in the region, with the number of thefts skyrocketing from 547 in 2020 to more than 1,300 in 2022. Halton says the increase coincides with the global vehicle shortage brought on by the pandemic, which made stealing them very lucrative for organized crime.
The concentration of the vehicle theft is happening in and around the Greater Toronto area. That really is the hotspots.
The Canadian Automobile Association Insurance Company is concerned, calling the problem a crisis, and saying auto theft was responsible for more than $1.2 billion in insurance claims in 2022.
I think the announcement is a good lead-in to what is going to be happening next week with the National Summit.
That national summit on combating auto theft, Elliot mentioned there, is happening next week in Ottawa. It's being convened by the federal government and will draw officials from the provinces, police forces, and industry stakeholders so that they can develop a coordinated response to deal with this problem. Now, CAA Insurance Company says two of the big issues on the table will be updating vehicle standards to make them more resilient to break-ins, as well as more being done at the border to prevent these vehicles from being shipped out of Canada and overseas. Taz.